Trusted Mobile Geeks, and finally we're getting our hands on the latest HTC One, or HTC One M8 as I should call it. By the way, the official name is actually just the HTC One. HTC have decided not to go with the new HTC One, or not officially the HTC One M8. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to call it the HTC One M8. So here we have the device itself, 5-point-inch screen. It's full HD, so you get a 1920 by 1080p. Inside here you've got a Snapdragon SoC. It's the latest Snapdragon 801 from Qualcomm. It's got 2 GB of DDR3 plus either 32 or 64 GB of internal storage. We've got a 5 megapixel selfie on the front here, and we've got our kind of signature boom signatures from HTC, which we saw on the original HTC One. These guys apparently are even better than before. They've built on the previous success and they've boosted them even further. If we look at the lower end of the device, we can see the micro USB port and also a headset port, which is one change from the previous version, which had the headset audio port at the top. The volume rocker switch, but next to that is not a power switch. Actually, that's a micro SD slot supporting micro SDs of, we believe, up to 128 gigabytes. It's the first time we've seen that. On the top right hand side you'll see the power button. Behind the plastic cover you'll find an infrared blaster, also the antennas for 4G and Wi-Fi. Over here you'll see a SIM card slot. Just look at the back of the device. You'll see as the leaks we've seen last couple of weeks have shown, there are in fact 2 cameras. This is a ultra pixel 4 megapixel camera. On top of it, we have a 2 megapixel camera, which helps to measure the distance between the camera and the object that you're actually filming. We'll show you a little bit later exactly how that works. Next to that, we have 2 LED flash lights, a warm and a cooler one, which helps a great deal with, allows the camera to differentiate dynamic skin tone. So it can differentiate between the 2 LED lights to produce a realistic and lifelike skin tones, for example. This is much better than what you'll find with one LED, and it's kind of similar to what you'll see on the new iPhone. So let's look at the software. It's Android 4.4 KitKat, and we're using the new HTC Sense version 6. Some things have changed. If we take a look at some of these apps, let's look at start with the camera. It has quite an interesting feature where we can take normal photos like so, and you see the autofocus is pretty quick. We can choose to refocus, because of the 2 lenses that we have, we can choose to refocus our photos. So here's a photo we took earlier this afternoon. So we can actually alter the focus on this image after we've taken the photo. This is with the unique dual cam setup that this new device has. So we go to effects button right up here, and now I can alter the focus. So as you can see right now, the guy in the front of the photo is the focus of the photo, and the lady in the background is now blurred. So we could now, if I want to alter that, I can again focus in on this gentleman. But if I can change that, and now you can see that the focus is now on the lady at the back of the room. This is pretty cool. The rest of the picture is not focused. Only the lady is brought into totally clear focus. Again, let's switch that back. Let's focus in on this chap here. I'm back again. Works pretty seamlessly. One thing you should point out though is that you do need to have a well-focused picture to begin with. If you're taking a picture close up and it's blurred, then you can't actually change or alter the level of focus that you have in the image after the fact. It's important still that you actually take the picture in as good a focus as you can originally. But if you see the way it works pretty well. I mean, it's awesome. If we go out of here, we can look at other effects. Okay, we got, this is again with the dual cameras, we're able to do a 3D effect. It is only an effect, it alters the perception of the image. It's not actually a 3D screen, so it's not true 3D like you would get in a 3D cinema or at home with your, if you have 3D glasses and your 3D TV, but it is an effect which is quite realistic and something you could definitely brag about with your friends, I guess. If we turn it off, we can see that there's a useful feature similar to what we've seen on LG and Nokia. You can knock on the screen to wake the phone up. But HTC have gone a few steps further. So we turn it off again. We can see if we swipe up from, well, let me just go back in, open a browser, say, yep. Okay, so here's the browser open, we close. If I swipe up, the phone opens on the last app that I was using, the browser. Turn off again, let's go from right to left. You can see it opens at the home screen, which is your main widget or app launcher. Swipe from left to right, you can see we're in Blink Feed. This is actually a new version of Blink Feed, which of course incorporates a lot of your news services, combines it all into one app. So let's go back and take a look at that. You can see you've got you've got a highlights option there at the top, but although it's very similar to the original Blink Feed, it has been updated a little bit. It seems like the Wi-Fi network has a bit of an issue, but let's just go back in, take a look at these are the apps that we're currently feeding. So yeah, you've got the usual Facebook, Google+, Instagram, as you would expect. We can also add news outlets as well. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, you can see you can choose different topics. You can also choose specific websites. So you can, yeah, here you can see which news feeds and websites you're subscribing to on Blink Feed. So that's quite new. It's very slick. It looks good. I guess the extreme power mode is what we should look at next. You've seen this before on the Galaxy S5, which they call the ultra power saving mode. Here we have extreme power saving mode. So if we enable that, you'll see straight away that's been activated. A few things have happened. Background data and services have all been cut off now. So that's going to reduce a lot of power consumption on the internal hardware. You can still use the telephone. Also basic text messaging, mail, calendar, calculator, but that's it. These are all the apps that you have in extreme power saving mode. I think you also see that the display's gone a little bit darker, and we've got rid of the live wallpaper behind, which is going to save on GPU power. This is a great, I think, great feature. If you're all the way down to like 5 or 4% or something, and your phone's literally about to die, extreme mode is gonna give you at least, I guess, a few more hours, so you can at least call a taxi home or call a girlfriend and tell her you're going to be late, whatever. I guess that's pretty useful. We exit from extreme mode, and you can see, you just notice just how quickly we exited from power saving mode. It's actually pretty quicker than the Samsung. I think we've covered pretty much all of the new important features of the new HTC One M8. It will be available on the 4th of April. Retail price would be 679 euros, which should translate to a very similar price in US dollars. This has been a quick hands-on with the new HTC One M8, and please subscribe to Mobile Geeks. Let us know what you think in the comments below.